the ranks. Hoe gaan dit? Ek is goed. Waar gaan jy? Mevrou, Bas, what does it add right now? You see, we have youth, we have doctors. In my wish, I wish even whether I saw Julius Malema had a rally today, I wish they could rally all those doctors that are educated, that have finished serving their ComServe, but still can't be placed in hospital. I wish I could have seen that youth of teachers that went and taught, then they can't be placed. Then they must cry and push whoever, Minister of Higher Education, Nabobuti Lapaya. Because how do you, as a state, dilute a teaching foundation? I'm a bit even worried to see the likes of that vendor lady. I'm sorry, Mumzula can't or something like that. I can't butcher and my tongue doesn't roll to that. When she says government has got a plan to roll out jobs, what jobs opportunities? Because for me, guys, there are professions that you must never, never undermine, no matter how you think they don't resonate. We have precedent because they had to start somewhere, whether being sub A or grade 1 or whatever you call it. But there was a teacher that was responsible for that young man or that young woman. So when a government, for me, said now there is a teachers, I don't even know what they call it when I'm malume, but apparently you can register, then you can go and teach a kid as long as you're a metric. But there was a program like that, and those people were earning 4.5. So yet we have
teachers' assistants.
Yes, teachers' assistants. But yet we have somebody who went to visit, who has a right basic foundation to tackle izinto. So I was expecting teachers to go because my profession, guys, that we cannot fiddle with in terms of just creating job creation. And when you say to government, I'm worried about government saying they've got a plan. What does the plan look like? Because if you can just come and play with teachers' profession and you have teachers' assistant, as long as they have a metric, I'm so worried what the employment looks like. Who is going to show us the blueprint? We need it, Pela, guys. We need to know. So for me, June 16, guys, 50 years, I'm still saying we are fighting the very same system, but now it has become a gigantic monster. There's corruption, there's what, but we have, guys, South Africa doesn't lack, and TK maybe can just come in after me. We don't lack engineers in this country. One thing I've been in that space, we don't lack engineering in this country. We have people from UWC, but our engineers are going to Dubai, are going to build, are going to do, and what. Now we don't have. And I don't know. Guti. I think people need to be penalized. I think private sector needs to be penalized. I always ask the question, Guti, if the critical skills of South Africa was updated. And I've asked, I think Mayor AJ said she was going to send me a link because I said they must send me a link so that I can go, and I would still appreciate a direct link that will take me because I would want to scrutinize it and see how it looks like. Because the one minute that I saw good thing, there was call center manager for me, it's not the critical skills. But what we are seeing on the news every day, we've seen bogus call center, the 031 number, the 087 that traumatized us night and day. Those are call center agents. We see our people working there, hired by scammers. We see the vulnerability. We just lost a young lady who was working at Cartrack call center. How do you call that thing a critical skill? So when I ask, the void is too wide for me, very, very wide. And I don't know. I think about the political sphere, and if you look, the generation Yamanje, that there's a disengagement, I would say maybe from 2000 up to now. Those kids are old now. Maybe, let's say from 98, maybe they should be 28. Yeah, 98, 99, 28, 27, up to now. They don't care. I'm sure today they are somewhere, some if they are working, they are somewhere dining with their friends, crying, took themselves out because why they can't resonate with anything. You tell them about politics, they are like not interested. So how do we win them back? How do we win them back? What knowledge do we instill in them? How do we still hold those conversations to say, actually, maybe now let's find a meaningful, because these people are going to slowly die, like to your point. People, heroes of 1976, some of them have died. Some of them are living, some of them are around, Abosomizi, they are still here, but I don't think they are very vocal. Babheka iphakethelawe and all of that, to show ukuthi we evolve as people, but to which certain point? How do we involve? Because my worry is that it's like a lineage, this thing, you know. So for me, nangazi ukuthi ngumthembu umvelasi ujama umnisi uyabona ungoza. I relate. It was instilled in me. I have abokhokho, and for me not to lose the track, because I saw my family like passing away, and I was like, for me, I don't want that opportunity. I created a very big canvas and I started to design a family tree. It's so nice, iyaqhubeka, 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 so that my kids, they don't lose identity. Even the one that will come after me and from my kids and from my grandchildren, they will always know Guti. There is a family tree. Should that canvas get full, it's somebody's responsibility to continue the second one. But Tina, I think we are bad at not documenting things. Where is the relevance? Like I'm saying, EFF, if it owns us, because maybe I could be wrong, but for me, I believe they were the drivers of Fees Must Fall. They need to give us a proper story, a proper documentary, a proper something, to a point that much, even they were students. But there was a guy, if I'm not mistaken, that who died. I don't know whether he went to see a doctor or he was coming out of the doctor. We need to celebrate that guy, but he died accidental or he was shot accidental by police. But we need the full story, not bit by bit. And we need the right people to tell us. We need the right documentation so that we can have this thing documented. And nobody will cheat us like sometimes they did. I saw how much people were angry when they watch Umama Win. I haven't watched it anyway, but ngifunde lapho nalapho nalapho. But people felt with the grandchildren didn't do justice because there were people who knew better and who thought maybe it should have been handled and done this way. But please, can we just not look, just go to who's going to fill the void? But for me, the concern is staring at my house. Like my 16-year-old, like it's like he can't relate, guys. The subject, I am a subject. Why there's no teaching, and it is my job to make sure that I instill kancane kancane. But I want to also evolve with them because back technology and all of that. I was even looking how Mzansi Magic they did an advert. I loved it. You know, then these boys were singing Pambiling a War. I love that song, but the thing is, Pambilinge war, which war are these kids? Are we teaching them? Which war they need to take forth? I think we just need to say now, since it's 50 years, for now, for me, now, Mam Tembu, if I were to have a chat with my daughter this evening, which war I want, and when I say war, I don't mean in terms of physically going, shoot, kill, a silent war, which is the system. Why is the system still exclude us? Because apartheid has moved from us identifying it by the color. It has went into a system. We know racism, how it feels like. We are equipped and we have confidence to fight it. If you see it, you smell it, you defend yourself, whether be at working environment, you know, you can, even when you are at a shopping mall, if you feel which is somebody is clustering your space, claustrophobia, you are able to say, please, can you give me a distance to breathe? You are able, you are equipped. But the system, 50 years, we are still fighting the system. And I don't think we are having right conversation to say the system is here. Yes, and that is a lot. 30th June, we are all waiting, they must go. But what? From there, then what? Employment, government, what is your plan? Mina, I don't trust the government. Anyway, I wanted to, actually, I was not here to submit. I was here to give you a radio advert. Unfortunately, kanti vele senayivala indaba kaPeter. And indaba kaPeter yona vele mina futhi angifuni nokuyingena ngoba guys, mina old age. I think when I was born, certificate some Tina guys, I think some parents were to be spalwa from esontweni. Isonto Methodist besiphuma lapho. Mina sami e-home affairs but besibhalwe nge-ball pen sashaywa ngestempu esibovu and ngisasenayo, so I always show my kids how fortunate they were. Manje bona mabathola ama-birth certificate sewane-full ID number eyami beyishoda boku-19 dash dash bese isha yabo dash dash dash. The only time I saw a 13 digit was the day I got my ID number, my green barcoded ID number. And yeah, and kids, they are always linked to their mothers. But one thing I like about South Africa, we have identification. And I think we have, I'm so concerned. Yaga Peter, like Njoba, Malume Begashwiti, triggerisha, because I was once an athlete. And here's the funny story. And I think if any one of you was an athlete back then, if you were a fastest runner, you know, because certificates zethu zazibhalwe ngesandla guys. Mina ngiyakhumbula ngike ngagijimela under 16 ngina 12. I don't know, they were able to do that esikolweni nani. So Peter mara makathi udlalela Orlando Pirates kusho ukuthi nayo bahlulekile ukumncedanyana bamithi critical skill. Bekadlalela yiphi position? Mina futhi ngithanda Orlando Pirates kanje, ngiwayazi wonke ama-play. Azange ngimbone or beka ku le Orlando Pirates le yase primary school le phelela lapha eDobsonville or something, because there's no way iPirates beyizokuseta mfanami uze uhambe uyikhohle nale IT i-striker lapha bakubeke u-Ivan Khoza kabe soyenze nama-transfer nakuma-Sundowns. Yabona lo mfana kaMfukeni like uyabona kabe sobuya na-overs. Ayi uPeter yena uzosifrustrate futhi usidlele nelanga lethu. So ithi ngihambeni ngizomamela phansi. And wena TK, you must enjoy the baba yini guys. Ngiyanithanda nibe nelanga elimnandi. Nami ngisemakhaya kumnandi kanjani la eNatal X.
Any little money where I get like this, any little money where I get like this, na enjoyment. Yeah, we don't think about anything. Na enjoyment, comrades. Na enjoyment. Yeah. So yeah. So
Yo,
yeah.
bengizela kuzothi kuMamthembu ngiyamuzwa. Yo, hayi. Ngingachubeka TK bese ngisho nje ukuthi hayi. Yeah.
Alright, man.
Angright TK, angright. Mara bese ngisho ukuthi hayi uMamthembu simzwile. Yo, cishe wasilahla sicishe sa off ramp. Mara it's fine. Awuthi ngiyehle.
And
Kunina sibambile. Yo, hayi mara siyamthanda. Hayi awuthi ngihlike. Hey no, AJ ngayo bekakhona bekayothi wo. Mara hey, hayi awuthi
yeah.
awuthi ngiyehle. Hayi suka man.
So now enjoyment, comrades. Let's enjoy. You'll think about everything else tomorrow. For now, enjoy. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, X. That is that. Layer, mom. Yeah, vacuum. I think when I X, you're not focused on what you call on student politics, or student politics have been hijacked. Yeah, that is just the last point. The student politics have been hijacked to be about fees, to be about NFSAS allowances. It starts and ends there when you listen to the student politics of today. They only engage on matters relating to allowances, matters relating to fees. Back in the day, student politics were spaces where thought thrived. X. This is where ideologies were coined, right? And political clarity took place there. And that is what gave birth to leaders and so on and so on. Those who were at that time, you would know that you had what is called the Progressive Youth Alliance, which comprised of various political organizations. It was like this thing. What was that thing that Abo Floyd were forming, Malume, at the beginning of this current term, 2024 elections? It was Progressive Front or something like that, yeah.
Progressive Forces.
Yeah, Progressive Forces. Yeah, it was something like that, the Progressive Youth Alliance, PYE. You had your Azapos there, you had your Young Communist League, you had your ANC Youth League, you had your SASCO, because there's a difference between ANC Youth League and SASCO. And that is what people do not understand as well. There's that. Where thinking was taking place, Malume, if you would remember back in 2009, when the Youth League was still vibrant, Malema as a leader came to universities and said that, and your YCL national leadership and so on, and say that we need a policy on how we can deal with what you call with the land expropriation without compensation, but we need a sound policy document that we can present in Mangaung. Guess what? It came from the student politics research on how to fund it. Just like when it comes to the fees must fall issue, by the way. People were not just preaching fees must fall. They had coined systems on how this free education will be funded. But today you've reduced politics to songs, and that is why there's a vacuum there. You must be able to say "Mkhonto," but in whatever these political songs that you comrades sing. When you sing the loudest and you are able to pull numbers, there's a comrade there in Epinar in Nelspruit there, Utilink would know about him, the former provincial treasurer of ANC Mpumalanga Mandla, MCB there. He's known for weekends just hosting people there, they sing and then they braai, and then people will go there for the meat and the songs. And he was even elected to the level of being a provincial treasurer, Malum. No politics whatsoever. There's no ideology that informs the comrade. No, he sings on every Saturday. He sings and buys meat there, and that is called politics. So you've reduced leadership to that level, and this is why today you find yourselves with people like Nkumbuzo Nchabeni, who comes and tells you that government will not create employment; it will create opportunities for private sector to thrive. Government is the employer of first and last resort. When private sector has failed, government steps in and creates employment. And if you have 34% unemployment and 65% youth unemployment, that should tell you that private sector has failed to create opportunities for people, and the government needs to take control there. The apartheid government did that when it created SOEs, your ISCO, it created ESCOM, Transnet, Spornet, it created the Industrial Development Corporation, and that then created all these industries you see in Dennisville, in Vereeniging, these industries you see in Jet Park, you see in Boysens, you see in Wadeville, you see in Pretoria North, and so on and so on and so on. They were created by the state via IDC. They created Bosasol as SOEs and so on to employ people. Why? Because private sector was failing to create this employment. Now today you've got clowns masquerading as leaders in Yonkupuzo Nshabeni who will tell you that government will not create employment. You see that private sector is failing. Why are you not stepping up as government?
Yeah.
So these are the leaders that rose through the ranks through singing. Some rose through the ranks through singing. Some rose through the ranks through lying on their backs and so on until they got those positions. Now there is no thinking capacity on how to lead. And then you expect that these people will what you call will then lead people in this country. It's a problem. We need to fix this thing. We need to re-energize the youth. They need to be involved. They need to know that they must be politically engaged. This thing of saying that, and you see it even here, by the way, politics is boring. These are the things that are affecting your life. But when now you want to speak about no, let me not attack. I wanted to say you want to speak about Jonas providing leadership. By the way, because I'm sure Jonas was providing leadership to some women there, until these women started to fail him and they killed him. So you want to engage on such things, yeah, but I don't want to be attacked. Norman X, let me stop there, and then I can drop down and prepare to go and enjoy this life thing. Na enjoyment.
Hayi ngiyabonga bhuti TK. Enjoyment. Hayi hamba uyitika Suthuhan. Hello. Kunjani Ntombo?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I
Hayi
think
siyaphila.
Nomthembu left. I am also one of the people who have sort of grown or like outgrown this thing in 1976. We've heard about it. We've watched a lot of Sarafina episodes, like a lot. I don't know how many times I've watched Sarafina. And I think I had thought really we would discuss as to what are we facing now as young people, or as in general even young professionals now, because we when you think about it now, we are forced to drive the economy of the country, and it only comes through being professional and or going to university and taking the right or studying the right course. So I had initially thought that people would be discussing that and how we can actually make, because you find that when you think about it, there's some research that we did at work. We were researching about what high in the higher education, what courses should be like struck off because they're not contributing to the economy of South Africa. I think we should be discussing such things, but unfortunately, at the same time, we can't. Okay, let me not say we can't. We can discuss that, but also we can't because we have been put in a position where we are fighting more than just one thing. When I say fighting more than just one thing, is that I'd like to believe that after 1994, we would be fighting now, getting into the economy and actually driving it ourselves. But now it's the obviously white monopoly situation, and now it has come with the distraction of foreign and illegal people. And that's why I understand when people say let them leave so we can fight the real demon, because these are the small things that are thrown at us to distract us and not to be progressive as a country. And that's why now it's so easy for politicians. Like politicians The current ones are, I don't know, man. I was never into politics back then, but a few people in my personal life were, and the politics that were there and the politics that are now are not the same. And now we are they still running the same thing, being told about 1976, the struggle. We already know that part, but it's not really giving us the action plan and the energy to help us. I don't know, man. We are so demotivated as a youth. Like yeah. I don't know. I genuinely, so it's not easy for us to discuss such things while we have faced certain obstacles in our lives. Like, I don't think we should be discussing that now. We should be paying medical aid, and medical aid at such, it's so expensive. We shouldn't be discussing the fact that I need to go change tires because one of my rims had an issue with a pothole somewhere. You get me? So those little things are affecting us in not actually tackling the actual problems that we or the actual mandate of what was being fought for back then. I don't know whether it makes sense. I tend to, yeah, go up and down. But what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, Umam Tembu,
You don't,
we really need to,
ju- just do your thing. Over time, your message will find its spot in the various layers
yeah,
and
Umam Tembu
levels of
actually
everything. So
mentioned. Yes, Umam Tembu actually, I get sort of nervous when I see a lot of people, but yeah, Umam Tembu actually did like she was really like she was really asking a raw question as to what do we okay, I was born in the mid 90s, like okay, I was born in 1994, but now what are the 2000 2Ks? What do we teach them? Um you find like I'll mention something that I was shocked. In January, I'll never forget this kid. In January, this child had 7 or 8 distinctions, proper distinctions, right? And then when he was asked, "What are you going to study?" He said he's going to AFDA. AFDA is that film, whatnot, institution. Now, I'm not saying that people shouldn't pursue their dreams, but are we already there as a country where we allow our next generation to study such things? Who's going to hold the fort when it comes to, because the 70s and the 80s, I believe that they were the first batch of uh, professions, and that's why they were so successful. Let me not say so successful, but like opportunities were there, and they got it right somewhere somehow. But with us, we were in between when it comes to AMA 90, yes, 90s. You get me? We are in between where we find out, okay, yeah, we need to work 3 times as hard to get half of what the 70s and the 80s got. I'm not saying that you guys did not work or anything like that, but now it's much more difficult because we sort of being blocked somewhere somehow, and we're not discussing such things. Psycha released stats this, I think it was beginning of this year, about 12K women are CAs in the whole of this country, 12,000. But it feels like there are a lot of CAs. Do you get me? There are such things that we don't discuss that we need to really discuss. But unfortunately, they are like we are dealing with, let me not say petty things, but I feel like they are petty things because they are done intentionally to frustrate us, to make us slow down in the progress. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't want to repeat myself. But Umam Tembu was right as to what do we discuss with ourselves? What is the push now? What are we pushing? What is the next generation? Am I 2K are pushing? You get me? What do we, because most of our parents have passed on the bait. Now we need to also pass on the bait, but where are we now as a country, as a youth of the country? And we are struggling. We don't get jobs. People don't get jobs, don't get proper jobs even. Professionals are settling for things that they did not even study for. You get me? It's frustrating. It's heavy, you know. And when we say now we don't want to discuss 1976, it feels like we are siyadelela, or we are not appreciating what the youth did then, because it was a movement for them. But we also need to start our own movement somewhere, somehow. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, that we really need to get into discussions where we feel that, okay, now I'm in this, now I know that what is my role, what do I push for? Because you walk in like, we deal with clients that are white. We still struggle with that, where you are told you are a Mexican. You get me? And when you think about it, you look at this person, you went to university, you are a professional, this person just only has matric. But unfortunately, they're your clients. You get me? But they will say to you, you are a Mexican. There are still things that we deal with right now that people think that we're not dealing with. And there are things that we need to push. Out of all my team, I'm the only female, by the way. Like, such things we need to discuss. Only female. uh Out of all my team, we are about 5 who are black out of 15. Do you get me? There are a lot of things within the private sector that curbs us. They make sure that they meet the triple BEE requirements, but now they place us positionally in positions that you feel, okay, this is where I'll end. If I don't start my own thing, this is where I'll end, you know? So, or if there are certain things that are not being done by the government. When I say by the government, I'm not saying they should spoon feed us, but change a bit of laws here and there, so that we can also push through and penetrate through the top, to the top, so that we give the balance. Because, like, in reality, people who are at the top are white people, whether we like it or not. We need to, private sectors still own 100%. To get me? Somewhere, somehow, they need to be told, or, oh, okay, fine, if you are a white company, make sure that your shares also, somewhere, somehow, include black people. It's just something that just dropped on my mind now. But what I'm trying to say is that we are fighting battles that we don't know. But when you think about it and you sit down and you realize that, I'm still fighting even today. And some people don't even realize that, because we are never, like, we get parents who will say, okay, you are a special child, you are this and this and this, right? You are special, my baby, whatnot. When you get to university, you get shocked at how um white people have a problem you getting distinctions. When you get to at work, white people have a problem again. Colored people have a problem again. Like, we have a lot of things that we deal with, but we don't realize that we're dealing with them. And we need to be aware of those things. You won't get up. Now, I was told, my dad was told me from the beginning that, listen, as long as you are black, you are a problem in this world. Ne? And you will struggle. You need to work 3 times. You need to be dedicated. You need to be consistent. You need to, he was brutal at first, but right now I get those aha moments where I say, oh, this is why my dad said this to me. This is why my mom said this to me. You get me? So there are certain things, that there are battles that we are fighting that we don't realize. Now they have come up with these things of, I'm not saying depression is not a real thing, but depression starts even at work, because you spend 8 hours, or 8 to 9 hours at work with toxic people, by the way. You get me? Uh, so you are expected to be fully functional. I had a problem when we got an email. Like, I'm telling you my personal experiences. When I got an email where there was a seminar of black tax. They even said black tax. I had a problem with that. You get me? There are certain like siyadelelwa within like in the work sector, we are there because we have to be there. But there are certain things that they have managed to manipulate and make us think that it's okay. Because I even said to that HR lady, never send me something like that ever again about a black tax situation where I need to go and attend. To be told about a black tax, whereas I'm black myself, you know, to be taught actually about it and how to manage the stress of black tax, you know, those things. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? You know, so there are new challenges that we deal with. Uh, but we are expected to always reflect. Yes, we need to reflect, but we have different challenges now, and we need to speak about those challenges and not say no. Hey, we fought the apartheid government. We are still fighting even today, but we need to be put in that, like we need to switch on that button where we understand that we are still fighting, but in a different manner, obviously. Okay, thank you. I hope I was
Oh,
not ranting.
you were renting, but
I think
it's permissible. There's nothing wrong with flipping out and renting in amongst people that you trust, because everybody goes through a lot. But it just happened as you were talking there, and you were busy with the obstacles, with the natural obstacles that every black person has to confront. Let's not forget the black gatekeepers of everything, the black placators of progress, who make certain that other blacks don't get access into environments or elevate in their positions. Because talking about mentioning the things that you were talking about, I found Uguti, by and large, the black person is probably the single biggest obstacle to other black people accomplishing whatever it is that they need to accomplish. And that has to be taken very seriously. Botike, you've got their society over there of trustworthy people, and they self-promote and they move some work within the group and horizontally across each other with regard to capturing what needs to be captured within that environment. They are unique, and they should not be unique. Under no circumstances should Botike be unique. So we have to do more. But equally, there are then, of course, those who receive the opportunities and so forth, and then they just drop the ball by default. So where are we going to strike and find a balance? Where? The challenges are not going away. It would be terrible for your child and your grandchildren to still be confronted with the same challenges after all the fights that you and us collectively have gone through, and still end up where we are. So that is, I'm not altering or otherwise challenging your submission. Don't be. I am just simply saying, I'm just expanding it just a bit. Mpho, then Kurish. Oh yeah, consciousness, Mpho, then
Yeah,
Kurish. Yeah.
thank you so much. I had powerful submissions by the ladies, and it is very much important what you have said now, to say we should never forget the black gatekeeper, because we have become the custodian of the very same system that we're fighting for or we're fighting with. At the moment, the people who are actually in the positions of those specific institutions that are not really correcting the very same problem that we are trying to address mostly are the black people. And the reason why we are not succeeding is because at some point you end up feeling like you are fighting your own. But let us not get derailed. You are not actually fighting a person. We are fighting a system. Bring it back to the need for the gap to be closed. I am very old. I am towards 50 now. I've seen it. We were there when things were horrible. We have experienced apartheid. Malume is here as well. So, but we are here in these spaces. And the reason we are here in these particular spaces is because there are things that we want to deposit and inspire the youth of today to say that the politics that we are seeing today, these are not the true politics. Therefore, when you are joining the politics, you should not be derailed by the things that the current politicians are actually doing. We have got a true identity of who we are. We are in a mission of liberating us, ourselves, here in South Africa. Before we speak about our neighboring country, before we speak about the SADC, before we speak about Africa, what we need to think about is we need to restore dignity to ourselves, to our families. And that particular dignity, it won't come on its own without any cost, which means that particular cost, it will need us to correct our very own people who are actually thinking that they are better because they have got a car that they are driving, because they are paying a bond, because they have got a salary, and they have got tendency of looking down upon someone who is actually in a very serious disadvantage. And that's where the mentality needs to change. I shouldn't be the person who is happy when I arrive there in Limpopo, driving very powerful car and everyone is whistling. And I think I am the main person. That kind of mentality needs to be challenged and we need to transform it ourselves to say that I need to make sure that what I am enjoying, every single person needs to enjoy it. And this is how I'm going to do it. I have to educate you. I need to tell you these are the things that you are going to face. How are we going to navigate them? And this type of navigation that I'm talking about now, it's not for you to comply with this particular system so that you can earn something at the end of the day. But it is for us to be awakened. Then we challenge our fight back to the very same system by ensuring that we also eradicate or remove our very own people who are actually incompliant or incompetent with the very same system that we are fighting. Therefore, whatever unites us, it must be the mission that we are saying that we want to truly liberate ourselves. Not because you are black, even if you are doing something wrong, I need to support you. No, that's not going to happen. We need to support each other for a cause. And the cause it is that we need to be liberated. Any government that is trying to ensure that we remain suppressed, we should fight it along with the youth of today. Join us. We are at the forefront. We know what we are talking about. We have seen it all. Please do not be derailed by the politicians who are actually looking after their own stomachs. That particular time has come to an end. We need to make sure that we transform it through this time, because they've derailed us. We know that they were true, powerful political parties who, but those particular political parties were swallowed by this particular giant, which have turned the circus of type of empowerment when it comes to education as well as the economy. When I say that we didn't receive any empowerment to education, I'm talking about the education of saying who we are, not about the science, not about being a doctor, but about the fight that we're actually fighting for. That particular education, it was dismantled, it was painted somehow, and we accommodated things which actually does not really empower us, does not really put us back to what we were fighting for. And that's where I am actually really very